Sorry about that. Electricity went all nuts.
We're having work done, bro.
Yeah. Work done in the city. We're doing shit in the city. The shitty city. Doing work in the shitty city.
Alright.
Sorry about that. The internet went off.
Power.
Because of power.
Power.
The power. It. There. You're pretty.
You're a cute girl.
I love you.
You're my cute girls.
You're my cute boy.
No, that wasn't Twitch. That was us.
No, that was us.
Lost power for a second.
Yeah.
These things happen. You know.
I bet the trolls will find a way how to blame it on me in some sinister, horrifying fashion.
Probably. You're the cause of it somehow.
I'm the cause of everything. It will. It'll work soon. I know it will. You know what, babe? I'm in the mood for some Arnold.
Really?
Yeah.
You need Arnold.
Are you in the mood for some Arnold?
I pretty much always am.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's one of those guys that if it was an Arnold, yeah, and like, well, let's watch it, sure.
Arnold? Okay, we'll watch it. It's been a while since we've seen an Arnold movie.
I don't know, that Maggie thing was horrible, though.
Maggie was the worst Arnold movie I ever saw.
That was the worst Arnold movie.
Don't watch Maggie. Don't
No.
waste your time. You will be disappointed. It's the most boringest, depressingest, fucking stupidest movie I've ever seen.
Yeah, there's no redeeming quality to it, really.
No, it's just depressing. It depresses you. It bores you. Hi, God and Cracker.
Bores and depresses you. Yeah.
How is it a big day? It's not a big day for me. It's not an exciting day for me. It's a, oh my God, I gotta leave the fucking house type of day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's stressful.
I don't want to leave the house. Ew, I hate leaving the house. See, you get it.
Yeah.
If you're agoraphobic, you'll get it. I'm not looking forward to it. I'm dreading it. I don't want to do it.
I know. Scary shit.
It is scary.
It's scary shit, man. It just is.
Am I gonna be okay?
I pray you are.
I don't want to think about it. Please stop reminding me of it. I need to, yeah, let's just watch this
sent
shit.
MLK a letter in an apparent attempt to convince the Reverend to commit suicide. The letter stated, King, your frauds, your end is approaching. Your Nobel Prize, what a grim farce, and other awards will not save you. King, I repeat, you are done. King was assassinated by white supremacist James L. Ray in April 1968. Many continue to allege that Ray was backed by the FBI. The program came to light unofficially in 1971 when an activist group burgled the FBI field office in Media, Pennsylvania, and they leaked a number of documents to the media. However, many of the government's own internal files remained classified for decades, with only heavily redacted versions of some of the files being made public through a 1976 congressional investigation. Finally, in 2016, in response to a Freedom of Information Act...
What's up, you need me? Yes, sir.
Alright. Sorry, guys. I have a job that regime to leave 6 days a week. Can't do that. Hi, Brian. God, why does going out of the house freak me out so bad?
Because you're developing agoraphobia. Which is...
I don't want to think about it.
I know.
It freaks you out too, Iconic. I don't want to think about it.
FOI request from the Centre for Constitutional Rights and Colour for Change, which was issued on the 50th anniversary of the Freedom of Information
That might be
Act.
it, the
FBI
crazy
disclosed
crimes
details
lately.
of a broad campaign against black civil rights activists. The reports showed that civil rights activists have been targeted, followed, and surveilled without suspicion of a crime having been committed or planned. The men who stared at goats and nothing happened. It seems too funny to be true, but it is. Between about 1972 and until as late as 1995, the CIA, variously with the cooperation of the US DoD and the Stanford Research Institute, SRI, funded and ran various programs exploring the potential for remote viewing and intelligence gathering.
That's one movie that you need to finish watching.
What?
Is Men Who Stare at Goats.
I never seen it once.
It's got the dude.
I know. Clooney's in it.
Uh-huh. That's a great movie.
It is good.
It's great.
And it's true.
Uh-huh.
It's a true story, too.
Mhm.
Yeah, I need to see that.
And you watched, I think you were out of it a couple times.
We
I
watched
had
it
on.
together?
Yeah.
I do not remember that at all. Not one bit do I remember that.
And the potential of ESP, that's extrasensory perception, as a means of warfare. It all seems to have begun around 1970 when US intelligence sources in the Soviet Union divulged that the USSR had allocated about 60 million rubles, a little less than $1 million, for psychotronic research. It's entirely possible that this information was false, intended merely as disinformation. However, in the apparent spirit of the age, the CIA was intrigued enough to contact psychics and paranormal researchers Russell Targ and Harold Possoff to create ScanAid, Scan by a coordinate at the SRI, to develop the ability to do remote viewing of locations that the subject does not have access to in the physical sense. In 1972, the two program leads discovered a promising candidate with seeming ESP abilities, an Israeli-British man named Yuri Geller. Geller, who claimed to be a descendant of Sigmund Freud, was an illusionist, a nightclub entertainer, whose shtick included spoon-bending, mind-reading, the ability to control...
Yeah, happy anniversary to you!
That's cool.
Dude, he bent a spoon with his fucking mind.
Dude, what? There is no spoon.
Dude. That's some badass move.
That's wild. Like, for real? He bent it with his mind? No way. He was found to be a fraud. There you go.
Ah, nah.
There you go.
Control the flow of
Live
time,
on TV?
or at least control the rate at which a watch ticks. They also claim to be able to kill goats by staring at them. This was never confirmed. Targ and Possoff, apparently impressed with Geller's abilities, produced a report claiming proof of success in remote viewing. However, when US Defense Department psychiatrist Ray Hyman was dispatched to examine Geller, his report described Geller as a complete and accused Targ and Possoff of farcical attempts at rigorous science. An article in Time magazine in 1973 described the encounter as such. In one case, Geller asked Lawrence to think of a number between 1 and 10 and to write it down as large as possible on a pad. While Lawrence wrote, Geller made a show of concentrating and covering his eyes with his hands, but Hyman carefully observed...
I am Bugman.
What the hell?
Bzzz.
What is that? Ouch. He's plonking out the haters.
That is the greatest picture ever.
I don't see your insolence.
The aliens can't see what I see now.
Everything makes sense now. With my spoon glasses. Ah.
Little do they know that I'm Superman.
That's pretty ridiculous, man.
It's a cool image, though.
I guess so.
I never thought about doing that before.
Oh.
Only a strange and wonderful mind would think something like that. Hi, watermelons.
What's your deal, Floof? Huh?
Really?
Cold toe beans.
You got stuff all over your face. Were you in the basement again? Were you in the basement? Like a baby goes.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
He's just blocking out the haters. I love that.
Irving Geller noticed that the Israeli's open eyes were visible through his fingers. Thus, Geller was probably able to see the motion of Lawrence's arm as he wrote and to correctly identify the number 10. Knowing how to read arm movements, Hyman notes, is important to every magician. Targ and Puthoff, humiliated in Time magazine and in Hyman's report, lost their contract. So, what then happens to the
Hyman report. What's your Hyman report, ladies?
Okay. Good Lord. What are we doing here, folks? What's your Hyman report? I don't know. What was down with the labia times, you know? What was up within uterus world today? You know?
Well, it absolutely continued, of course, despite repeated exposure.
The Hyman continued, all right.
Engaging in motivated reasoning and reporting unscientific speculation as science, the U.S. Department of Defense, flush with the kind of money only the U.S. Department of Defense has, continued to fund the project from the money that Congress had already appropriated, despite all objective analysis concluding that it was a joke and the victim of what one DoD staffer called the giggle factor. So, research and SRI continued right along. In 1977, it was claimed that
the giggle factor. Does he come out a little pretentious?
Yeah, but people like that.
Yeah.
With an accent.
Well, the thing is, it's like people think you're really smart if you have an English accent for some reason.
Yeah.
But they're just as stupid as Americans.
Yeah, Simon. Yeah.
Yeah. The giggle factor. Just saying. That's right, England. I said you're just as stupid as Americans. Take that.
He's got loads of stuff wrong.
He probably does, Sukian.
Probably. It is what it is.
Fun video. At SRI,
yeah.
Located
I'm just fucking around.
But this was never confirmed. Finally, in 1995, the program was transferred unceremoniously to the CIA for a retrospective evaluation of nearly 25 years of research involving up to 22 paid Army staff and dozens of civilian remote viewers. The report, authored again by a now understandably exasperated Ray Hyman, the psychologist who had exposed Geller in the first place, stated, psychologists such as myself who study subjective validation find nothing striking or surprising in the reported matching of reports against targets in the Stargate data. The overwhelming amount of data generated by the viewers is vague, general, and way off target. The few apparent hit—
What the fuck did he just say? I have no idea what he just said. That, like, makes no sense to me. That's just words. Or maybe it's the Delta. The Mango Kush. Could it be the Mango Kush?
It could be.
Oh, she's sleeping and she's all nuzzled up on your chest.
She's a ghost.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, she's a good baby. She's like, what the hell is that? You have to go sleep.
She's like, no, I'm comfy.
I'm too comfy. She's a good girl.
Are just what we would expect, if nothing other than reasonable guessing and
Later,
subjective
Who-Dat.
Bye, Who-Dat.
He doesn't do the research or write his scripts because he's got about 1 million channels. Nothing wrong with that, but he never fact checks. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that could be an issue.
Whatever, I don't care. It's interesting.
The hydrogen bomb hits different.
What?
Recently, the Russian government-run defense company Rosatcom released declassified footage of a test of the Tsar bomber, the world's largest ever atomic explosion. The 40-minute film that was released, including close-up shots of the bomb disassembled, remained classified by the Russian military for nearly 60 years. But one of the reasons why it was classified wasn't known to the public until recently. You see, for decades, governments around the world claimed that hydrogen comprised the third stage of a hydrogen bomb. Yet the scientific community, and indeed the public, was generally aware that this was false. To understand why, it's important to know a bit about how a hydrogen bomb works. In principle, the hydrogen bomb is built in 3 stages. The first stage, a conventional explosive device, drives together 2 masses of fissile material, usually uranium-235. This triggers the second stage, an explosion caused by the fissioning of a critical mass of uranium-235. The third stage, the government long held, was composed of deuterium or heavy hydrogen, which are hydrogen atom isotopes with an extra proton. The energy of the third stage is thus derived when the fission explosion of the second stage causes the atoms of deuterium in the third stage to fuse together, releasing their extra protons in a cataclysmic explosion. This was the official word of the US Department of Defense for decades. However, the public was generally aware that this was not the full story. The public had seemed to become aware of the truth in the 1960s through leaks or accidentally declassified reports, and eventually it included even research papers and physics textbooks which detailed how the real third stage catalyst for a hydrogen bomb was actually lithium deuteride, which fuses to produce tritium, the real source of the hydrogen bomb's power. However, this was not actually true. Anyone attempting to build a hydrogen bomb using this information would have found out exactly what the US government had found out in the 1950s. The second stage fission explosion would destroy the casing containing the lithium deuteride faster than it could successfully fuse into tritium deuteride. Thus, the publicly known construction of the H-bomb was a fraud. It would never have worked.
What?
In 2015, Kenneth W. Ford, an academic who had worked on early nuclear weapons research for the US government before 1953, ran afoul of his long-ago former employer, the US Department of Energy, when he refused to redact details about the workings of a hydrogen bomb from his memoirs, Building the H-Bomb: A Personal History. The affair finally seemed to confirm what some theorists and researchers had now long suspected. The real secret of the H-Bomb was not that it used the force of the fission explosion to cause a fusion of lithium deuteride. This would only result in the destruction of the bomb without undergoing fusion. The real secret was a radiation shield around the lithium deuteride casing, which reflected high-energy gamma and X-rays back into the lithium deuteride casing, and it was actually these energy particles which initiated fusion in the third stage. One of the reasons that the Soviet Union had classified the test footage of the Tsar bomber.
Jesus, that's horrifying.
This is an insane looking dude. Fallout.
Oh my god.
That's nuts.
No.
Yeah, Einstein said it, man. We should never mess with it.
No. It just destroys everything, and aliens don't like it.
It's sometimes wise to not do things.
Yeah.
Right?
1 minute, guys.
Okay. Yeah, what's up, Tommy? Okay.
Okay.
So he needs to tell Tommy. I put it. That's all good.
So we have a leak.
Not in the furnace.
Not in the furnace, okay.
Not in the furnace.
But it's in where?
The hot water heater.
Oh, that's why the water isn't that
Got messed
hot.
up.
Yeah.
I don't know how the hell does that happen. It's probably just age.
It probably is just age.
And it's been being used frequently.
Yeah.
We're in here.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
Uh-huh.
Old houses. It's just fucking old houses.
On YouTube, search for Oppenheimer. I am become death, destroyer of world. Whoa.
He said.
Have you ever seen Oppenheimer's speech to the Japanese years later after Hiroshima? Nah. That would be interesting to watch, though.
Do you know what he said?
What?
He said that there was 25 to 30 extra gallons of water in there.
What?
How did that happen?
I don't know.
It doesn't make sense to me how that happened.
No.
Whatever. It's taken care of, so that's what matters. That's strange, though. It's pretty weird.
One of the most chilling things you'll ever see. Oppenheimer's speech years later after Hiroshima.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Have you seen that?
It's where he says, I've become the destroyer of worlds.
What a psycho.
Like they got a fucking god complex. He thought he was Shiva or something.
Let me see this. Oppenheimer speech.
Yeah, I think, isn't it John Oppenheimer? I'm not sure. I think his name's John Oppenheimer, I think.
Oppenheimer speech. There we go.
Yep, there you go.
What a freak.
there seem to be two great views among scientists, and no doubt would be among others if people knew about it. On the one hand, they hoped that this instrument would never be used in war, and therefore they hoped that we would not start out by using it. On the other
What a
hand,
creepy way how he says this shit.
Possessed.
or other people hoped that
It's a
it would
breakfast
put an end
burrito,
to this
Ted.
war, save countless lives, put
Eggs
an
and
end
bacon
to
and shit.
He's gonna be having
a
his soon, I
butchery
guarantee
that
it.
has been going on
Probably.
for many years and has been
You're
marked
gonna hear
by
him moan.
atrocities, concentration camps,
But I get to hear you grunt.
murders,
Yeah.
raids on cities, Rotterdam and
You're right,
Dresden, and Tokyo itself. And that on the whole we were inclined to think that
Friggin' Wawa.
if
He wants to see a Sheets burrito.
Alright. It's pretty basic, dude. It's like...
It's really good though. You're gonna like it.
It's the wrapper.
It's pretty hefty amount of stuff
They don't
fill it
skip
with.
on their food, man.
No.
That's pretty standard burrito, dude. Alright.
Right?
Oh my god. It's the peppers and onions, man. Oh. And this was Folks for Jesus?
No. It wasn't actually.
Why?
It's someone else. I'll let you know.
Oh my god.
They don't want to be said. Watermelon's like, that looks so good.
Bacon.
Oh, look at that bacon. Look at the layers of bacon. You got to show that a little bit more. Wait. Let me get this off. We got to get a full view of the bacon. Look at that. Look at that.
It's a whole a whole layer of bacon. That's insane. Oh my god. Ah! Bacon. Oh my god. Holy shit.
I love seeing my man enjoy a meal.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. This is definitely the best breakfast burrito I've had from any fast food anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best.
Yeah. I think it's because it's more natural tasting than all the other places. Like, it's real eggs. It's real cheese. It's not that stupid American cheese. The bacon's cooked perfect.
Oh, the bacon.
And the onions and peppers are actually onions and peppers, not that frozen shit.
Yeah, they taste like onions and peppers.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Beats a Wawa burrito.
Probably. I've heard good things about Wawa coffee, though, from Mike.
It's just like you cook it up at home. That's what that is.
Mike Matei.
That's what that burrito is.
I'm trying to really think. Yeah, I've had quite a few breakfast burritos in my life, but I think this is the best one I ever had.
Yeah, it actually is way better than McDonald's.
What?
Or
Oh my god.
way better than McDonald's. I'd even say way better than the Hardee's Monster Burrito.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's saying a lot because Hardee's is the shit, okay? No slam on Hardee's.
Mm-mm. No.
Mm-mm.
Mm.
See why I was chowing down on it?
Mm-hmm. I'm starting to feel actually full.
Good.
It's a good feeling.
My boy.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Put some peanut butter on that bitch.
Ah, that's another food group. Mm-mm. And imagine, you can pretty much get this thing 24 hours a day.
Right.
Oh my God. Mm. Wow.
Yeah, so Sheets, it's only $3 to get a burrito there, pretty much.
I mean, yeah, that's...
So that's a $3 burrito you get at Sheets.
Are you kidding me? That's worth way more than $3.
Yeah. Wow, that's cheap. I know, right?
Okay.
Oh, 1 minute, guys. And the toilet.
So that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
All right.
Water tank.
No Wawas nor Sheets here. Sad face. I'm sorry.
That sucks. Yeah, Sheets is... Man, that... And it feels good in your stomach.
I would love to get Meals on Wheels.
I like Meals on Wheels food. I've had
I
it.
would so do Meals on Wheels. I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, me too. I've had it. Well, many times.
It's a godsend. Yeah, man. I'm gonna look. We should look into Meals on Wheels. Do you have to be like a certain age?
Well, I think they also do it for disabled people. Which you could certainly qualify as. And since you're on Medicaid, I think you could probably get it. And they always give you the school milk.
Yeah.
It's not free, but subsidized heavily. Yeah, you get it for
Yeah.
the disabled. Yeah. Oh, they do it in the UK too. Okay.
Yeah. It's not that far from us, actually. Meals on Wheels.
No, I don't. That's true. Yeah. Yeah.
So, I think I'm gonna look into that.
Yeah. You like them,
Yeah.
so that's a good deal.
I feel like such shit. I want a wheelchair, dude.
Yeah. That would help you.
Today was beef stew and dumpling, a cheese sandwich, a yogurt, a trifle, and a cookie. Ooh, see? That sounds yummy.
There you go. Beef stew. Yeah, they feed you good, man. It's not, you know, they hook you up. It's really cool.
Yeah, and it's easier to, like, work it into a budget than, you know,
Oh, yeah.
picking out the stuff yourself and cooking it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a program that
A wheelchair, are you feeling that sick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes her energy to just get to the bathroom, guys.
That's why when I come back, I'm completely out of breath.
And you're winded. Yeah. You're winded from going to the bathroom, so.
At this point, yeah. It helps make sure you get a balanced meal. I like that. I think both of us would like that.
Yeah, that's why the prison was good.
No, Suki, I haven't.
Oh, that Sheets was so good.
I told you, man.
That was a 10.
You got some Skittles.
Yeah, man, Skittles, you're giving them to me?
Yep.
No way.
Yep.
You're the best. Love Skittles.
I know you do. That's why I'm giving them to you.
You're amazing. You're my favorite. You could have some too, though.
Skitlets.
They're amazing, man. They're just one of the best candies.
You passed the test, Rev.
I guess. I got the Skittles. It's lucky. Thank you for the Skittles.
No, I can't really eat them anymore very
No?
well.
Oh, baby girl. You suck on them.
Yeah.
You suck on them.
I'll suck on you.
Alright.
Oh, yeah, we gotta see this fucking dude's speech. This fucking psycho.
Alright. Yeah.
It was needed to put an end to the war, and had a chance of so doing. We thought that was the right thing to do. We knew the world would not be the same. Few people laughed. Few people cried. Most people were silent. I remembered the line from the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. Vishnu is trying to persuade the prince that he should do his duty, and to impress him takes on his multi-armed form and says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." I suppose we all thought that one way or another.
Whoa. What?
What a psycho.
That's the guy that headed that shit up, man.
What a psycho.
I guess that's what we were all thinking. No, I think you were thinking that. We can destroy worlds.
Yep.
Who the hell, looks at that as a good thing?
He did.
Should have never made that shit.
That dude did.
Yeah, he did.
That's just psychotic.
Yeah.
That dude is just straight psychotic.
Straight up.
Explosion that it produced was actually too
And he was
large
crying
to be
over
explained
it?
by the conventional means that many believed
The
in
beauty of
H-bomb uses.
destruction.
Instead, because it employed a radiation-proof casing to cause fusion of the third stage, it actually ended up creating a significantly more powerful explosion than expected. Planned to yield just 4 to 6 megatons of TNT equivalent energy, the Tsar bomber actually released 27 megatons. This was because an isotope of lithium, lithium-7, ended up fusing at a much higher rate than the designers had expected, causing the bomb to explode with many times the planned force, based on the mathematical calculations being used to predict the yield via the fusion of lithium into tritium alone. Another consequence of this extremely efficient nuclear reaction is that the Tsar bomber produced relatively little radioactive fallout than any other nuclear weapon ever tested. This is because more of its mass was ultimately converted into energy than radiation.
Well, that's actually
So why did
not
governments
quite a
not
bad
want these
thing.
details
No,
of
that's
the H-bomb
radiation.
designed to go public? The ultimate answer is actually still a little unclear. Certainly one of the reasons would be to stop rogue states from managing to build their own H-bombs, but another possible explanation is the dire consequences of the truth about how H-bombs actually work. Because the H-bomb uses high-energy particles to cause fusion of heavier elements than hydrogen, including tritium and lithium-7, the actual limits on the upper threshold of a nuclear yield are potentially quite a bit higher than previously thought. Governments may not have wanted people to know that bombs of 50 megatons or even 100 megatons were practical and possible using current technology. Indeed, Los Alamos researchers as far back as 1944 have been theorizing the possibility of gigaton bombs using radiation-shielded fusion devices, and because these devices employ fusion, they don't actually require much rare fissile material to construct. A 10 gigaton bomb, which recently declassified Kennedy administration documents attest, would have been capable of incinerating an area of the planet some 500 miles in diameter. That's an area
Jesus
about
Christ.
the size of France. Even testing such a bomb had potentially devastating consequences for the planet. A single strike from a gigaton-range nuclear weapon might have irreversible climate-destroying consequences that could cover the Earth in the darkness of a nuclear winter. It was this realization from nuclear strategists in the 1960s that helped push America and the Soviet Union to the bargaining table to discuss nuclear test-ban treaties. Even testing such a bomb had potentially devastating consequences
man, you
for
should
the
look
planet.
that up,
And it was
Shanny.
all because
The
the
Tsar
true
bomb?
potential of the H-bomb was
The
far
whole
more
world
frightening
felt that.
than the public knew.
The Tsar bomb.
Let's hope that Putin isn't as crazy as people fear.
Yeah.
He might be.
Well, he hasn't done it yet, so.
There's that.
He hasn't done it till he does it, so.
That's true. I wanted to add something a little bit more lighthearted from that video. Actually. My husband has disappeared again. He said something and left. I'm confused. You don't think he will? Ugh. Who knows, though, with Putin, though? Like, I heard he's dying, so if he's dying, then, like, he could, like, lose it completely. I think I have to do the same thing my husband just did. I will be right back. I gotta take a whiz.
Got pee-pees?
I do gotta pee-pees.
Okay.
Ow! Move! Ah. Okay, I can do it.
Good.
Oh, I'm stiff as fuck.
I hope you can do this tomorrow, honey.
That's why I'm saying I need a fucking wheelchair.
No, I know that, yeah. Oh, you'll be right back? Okay. You got the mic on, though. Ugh. Japanese Unit 731. What is that, Ted? Yeah, this, there used to be a stair lift on the stairs here, but it was taken out. Because they're, like, that's a pretty expensive deal, so it was taken out and sold, I believe. I mean, like, that's a weird question. I'm not the gal to mess with. Favorite serial killer. That's always been such a weird question to me.
I don't think I have a favorite serial killer.
Not favorite. It's weird.
I don't idolize them or
No.
think of them great or anything.
Well, I guess most fascinating.
The most fascinating
Yeah, who you're most fascinated by?
of the minds?
Yeah, my answer is Manson, but they said besides Manson. I guess I'm really...
Well, that's because technically he isn't a serial killer because technically he didn't kill anyone.
Yeah. That's correct, but they put him in there, though.
Ted Bundy is very fascinating to me.
I don't know shit about Ted Bundy. I really don't know anything about any of them. Like, I think I have seen documentaries a few times on them, but
you wanna
who you
spruce up on the Ted Bundy?
I never researched Ted Bundy.
We can research Ted Bundy.
I wasn't into this serial killer shit. I told you, my one buddy was. And I think he pretty much thought Manson was innocent too. Sam.
Yeah.
Sam. I'm pretty sure he thought Manson was innocent. He was definitely interested in Manson. We watched a Manson family type documentary type thing together.
I think we're gonna have to take like one blow and then charge it.
You're charging it?
Yeah.
Okay. Back.
He is back.
Just let him do his thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's on the dating show. That's nuts.
Zac Efron is sexy. That's why I named my son Zach too, is because I knew he'd be good looking. So I was like, I need to give my son a good looking name.
Yeah, he's like a bodybuilder now. Zac Efron, he looks like a bodybuilder.
He's amazing. I really like him. He's a nice guy too.
I always thought he was a good actor.
I like nice people. They make me happy.
Yeah. Of course.
I've been too damaged by mean people.
Yeah. I feel that.
You feel that too, baby.
It's kind of rough.
But I wanted to put something a little lighthearted on, so I looked at this, and this is the scandals of silly bands.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you ever looked at a rubber band ball and thought, I really want to buy that, but I don't have a use for it? I mean,
No, I saw it on freaking Pee Wee Herman's Playhouse, and I was like, that is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Really?
The big giant rubber band ball, you remember that?
The giant one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
I wanted that
You
so
wanted
bad.
it?
I did.
That's funny.
I thought it was awesome.
Pee-wee's
a person only has so many things that need to be held together by a rubber band. What are you going to do with hundreds
Hi,
of them?
Pan.
Well, if you were anyone who
Well,
was anyone
welcome.
in 2010, you bought those rubber bands anyway.
Thank
except
you.
bought them in colorful, overpriced packs of 12 and slowly amassed your own rubber band ball at home that you called your Silly Bands collection. Silly Bands first officially came about in 2009 after Robert Croak, distributor of the infamous Livestrong bands, saw someone else make them first. In 2002, a couple of Japanese designers molded rubber bands into animal shapes to discourage people from throwing them away so frequently and increase sustainability, calling them animal rubber bands. Robert saw this idea on a business trip, decided the bands were pretty poorly made and didn't really resemble animals very closely, and then made his own version years later. This new idea, though, wasn't about the sustainability of office supplies, but dealt in children's fashion. Silly Bands were made of silicone instead of rubber, used generally sharper designs, and were marketed as a wearable accessory.
Yeah,
No
I
matter
need
how
a
you
little
wore
bit
them,
more
stretched
boot.
them, or shaped them, Silly Bands would always snap back to their original
But I think
shape.
I'm good.
It didn't take long for Silly Bands to take off, gaining popularity by 2010 for their cute designs as statement pieces. There were Silly Bands.
You didn't know I was back? Well, Julesy, I am. And we're looking at animal rubber bands. They're cute. But apparently there's a scandal with animal rubber bands. And we're going to find out what the scandal of the animal rubber bands is.
Mm-hmm.
It's the hottest drama right now. You had lots of silly bands. I believe it's Celeste.
Bands for everything from baseball to Arctic animals, princesses to rock and roll, Christmas to the original animal rubber bands designs that Robert Croak criticized? No, that must just be my imagination. The bracelets became so popular that officially licensed Silly Bands were eventually made of popular franchises, including such 2010 classics as Angry Birds, iCarly, and Farmville. Even a couple of celebrities joined in, with the Kardashians and Justin Bieber collaborating to create their own exclusive packs.
Really?
The most popular packs, according to a good guess by Robert, were the Princess, Rock, and Hello Kitty packs. The band had such success that more accessories like rings, necklaces, and even stickers were put out into the world. What's your favorite Silly Band? Oh, my favorite is shaped like a crab, but I don't like the bracelet. I only like the sticker of the bracelet. Rip-off brands like Logo Bands, Zany Bands, and Googly Bands were popping up everywhere to try and cash in on the sudden success. Given that they were marketed towards kids, it's no wonder that tons of children with their collective millions of Silly Bands just couldn't get enough. Plenty of middle and elementary schools were filled with kids trying to shove their boring baseball Silly Bands off onto some unsuspecting kid, trading for something way cooler and rarer. Now, I don't remember the Silly Band craze overly well, but I do remember that it just sort of appeared out of nowhere, and given that packs were relatively cheap compared to other toys and trends, pretty much every kid had them. That's
actually so cute. I'm just going to be honest. That's really cute looking.
You know I'd like that.
Yeah.
You know I'd like that.
That is so cute. Yeah. And I loved her nail polish. It was all silver. That was like so me back in the day, in the 90s.
Yeah.
I would so have my fingernails silver all the time. They were cute and comfy. I didn't have any Silly Bands. I think I missed this. I was a grown woman when this started happening.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
What year is saying?
2009.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think I missed this era.
Yeah, we were too old.
Yeah.
Infiltrated my school so quickly that it was hard to keep up with the Silly Bands trading market. When I think about it, though, I don't think there actually was any agreed-upon value for certain Silly Bands over others. Glow-in-the-dark and glittery bands were popular, but were they actually harder to find? Did I trade half of my collection for the super rare man rocking out on guitar Silly Band that I also could have just bought at the local Walgreens for $4? though kids may...
This was late even for my gen, but my school embraced fun. Yeah. I would have loved these. If I knew they existed, I would have loved these.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
He sold them in school like a dealer? That's awesome.
Yeah, there were some kids doing that in my school with Pogs.
You always got one of them guys.
They had bags of like 100 Pogs, and they were selling it like for $10. 100 of them for 10.
Nice.
They didn't get in trouble either.
Kids stole them from the school store. I believe it.
Yeah, I believe that too.
Making stuff up and cheating someone else out of a valuable item has been around since kids' collectible toys were first introduced. Probably since some children in the Middle Ages were trading sticks, and little Emmeline told Beatrice that her stick was worth way more than those other flimsy twigs. Trading became so popular that at a lot of schools, silly bands were eventually silly banned for their controversy, causing arguments over trading deals, collections getting mixed up or lost, and just generally being a classroom distraction. I remember...
They're scared of the Yoshi army. They probably are scared of the Yoshi army. Like, don't fuck with us no more.
Well, they can throw dollar bills like ninja stars.
Yeah, that's exactly. Oh my god, Carrie tried to get me with that and sent me $100 request, just cussing me the fuck out.
Oh my god.
Like, okay, let me see if I can bring up. I just blocked her. I was like, fuck this. This
Very
is dumb.
angry.
Okay. Let me give you these messages. They're so fucking dumb. Alright. For your disgusting, Rev wants to fuck Carrie. For I am eating donuts right now. For I hope you thought you got money, you piece of shit. For fuck you, Shanny.
You have to be so loud with you.
Sorry. For you racist, disgusting fat bitch. So... That's the messages I got from Carrie.
Wow.
So, I think she's kind of triggered.
Wow. She's angry. Jesus.
I don't give a fuck about this person, and she's like so triggered by me. She's like, notice me, senpai.
Shouldn't she be saying that to her husband? I thought she was nice, married, and happy and shit. Christ.
Hey.
Whatever, man.
I'm just gonna laugh at her crazy ass face, man. She's jealous of our relationship. That's right, Jules.
She's unhinged, man. Jesus. What's wrong with people?
I don't know. I just blocked her. I was like, okay.
What's wrong with people?
Block.
That wasn't Carrie. She didn't send that.
Okay.
I hope not.
Well, it's someone who loves Carrie's little booty hole.
Remember the day that announcement was made at my own school, and feeling pretty disappointed that my dozens of silly bands, this new trendy item that was pretty much only good for showing off to other people, now wasn't even allowed in the main place I frequented as an 11-year-old. If you couldn't bring your silly bands to school, though, how could you get your fix?
I
By
believe in
playing with
doxing.
the next best thing. Your virtual silly bands in the coveted video game titled simply Silly Bands for the Nintendo DS.
DS.
So Nintendo made a game about freaking rubber bands.
They had to make money off it too. Play the craze. See? The craze. That's what it is.
The craze. Freaking rubber bands.
Yeah.
No, I ain't showing any receipts because that would be doxing.
I mean, technically, yeah.
Yeah, like, either believe me or don't believe me. It doesn't fucking matter.
Well, you read the message.
I did read the messages. Whatever.
If it's her, it's her. If it's not, it's not. Who gives a shit, really?
Released in 2009,
Whoever it is,
Silly
it's
Bands
fucked
the video
up.
game was published by Zoo Games,
Waste their fucking
now named
time.
Indie Pub, who also published
You know what it
renowned
did?
classics
You know,
such
you know what? You know how long it took me to block that person? Like literally 2 seconds. You know how long it took them to write those messages and send that shit?
A lot more time.
A lot more time.
I think they're right though. It's not Carrie because they say Carrie wants to fuck Reb.
Yeah.
So
whatever.
It's probably a troll, but whatever. Who cares? Does it matter?
No.
I don't think it does.
No. Still made me giggle.
Exactly.
And I still think the person is pathetic for wasting their time.
There you go. That's pretty much it.
as Chicken Blaster and Eminem's Beach Party. The game functioned as an Angry Birds clone, except everything about it was worse. I guess it didn't set up players to expect much when its tagline was just play the craze. A pack of exclusive video game themed Silly Bands was included with the game, which was probably its main selling point. Another game titled Silly Bands the Game was also released.
People would buy a whole DS game just to get fucking rubber bands.
Well, Pogs, just little bitty pieces of cardboard.
Yeah, I wouldn't, like...
It's dumb, but at the time...
It made perfect sense.
Everybody's doing it.
Gotta catch 'em all, Pokemon.
That's the same thing. And people still love it. If Pogs came back, people would love it. If they came back.
We'd have grown adults collecting Pogs.
Yeah.
This was the greatest game back when I was a kid.
Oh my god, man. Well, that's the case, though. You're dealing with that. Okay, that would be the voice, too. That's actually...
Exactly.
Pogs are life, man, you know? My favorite is this hologram.
New Leaf was on the
dragon one.
Wii, right?
What? New Leaf?
Yeah, Animal Crossing New Leaf. It was on the Wii, right? I think it was on the Wii.
I don't know all the history of Animal Crossing games for sure.
For mobile devices, and played a lot like those mobile games you see in all the weird ads everywhere now. The ad for the game claimed that you would join Stella the puppy.
New
in a
Leaf
Silly
was
Bands
3DS. Thank you, Becky. She knows more than I do.
Cool. 3DS. 3DS.
I still have my 3DS in the game. You sexy bitch.
I got you. Real nice DS.
Oh, shut up. Don't remind me.
Happy home design.
That just reminds me of the things I could have had in life.
themed adventure, though I don't see anything to do with her in the gameplay it shows, so that's kind of a letdown. Despite producing such quality
cute,
games,
though.
It doesn't seem like anything
Yeah, I
could
like
stop
them.
the fall of Silly Bands.
Obviously, I would.
Just as quickly as they had
Yeah.
been bought out of
Oh.
stock from every retailer that carried them, the fast fashion trend of Silly Bands developed into nothing more than an early 2010s memory.
Yeah.
I remember finding my own collection after years of them
2010s.
not being touched, all tangled together in a big, colorful mess, and donating them to a local garage sale or something. I hate to think it, but I was probably among the few people that even bothered donating. Despite the intention of the original design of the Japanese animal rubber bands, I have a feeling once they weren't in style anymore, most people likely just tossed their Silly Bands in the trash when discovering their hoard of them years later like I did. So much for encouraged sustainability. It's not like Silly Bands is to blame for its fall into obscurity though, right? Such is the life cycle of any trend. They come, they go, they die. Or so we thought? In the past few years, Silly Bands have been the topic of some nostalgia bait, with people making posts reminiscing the 2010s and asking, does anyone remember Silly Bands? Which, of course, unless you were living under a rock, you probably do. Nostalgia bait isn't anything new.
I guess I was living under a rock. No, I was a mom. I was a mom, newly
Yeah.
divorced, working my ass off.
Right. Why the hell would you pay attention to some kid's toy?
Yeah, I wouldn't.
No.
I was a single ass mom at that time.
Yeah. Shanny was like Reba.
I was like Reba, yo.
McIntyre?
I'm such a hard worker. No, I just did what I had to do.
You're my baby. You're a good girl.
But yeah, in 2010, I was busy.
Yeah, I'm sure you were.
I didn't have time for that because I was going to work, bringing my kids to daycare.
Oh, like the show
And,
okay, the show.
Yeah. Requests. I know. I'm gonna pin it. Go to my Twitter, guys. Shanny Needs Love on Twitter. Okay. I'm going to put right here video requests. And then I'm going to pin it. And then you can put your requests on it because it'll be on the top of my Twitter page.
Good idea.
For requests. So, pin to profile. There we go. It is pinned. You can put video requests on my Twitter at Shanny Needs Love.
People want some Ted Bundy.
I don't have a Twitter. Ted. That's easily corrected.
Sweet.
You could just put the request down. It don't matter to me. Or do Jeffrey Dahmer.
You're supposed to do Dahmer.
But there's a scandal with silly bands we must discover.
Plays to people's nostalgia for likes and views,
So.
making memes or other content revolving around sentimental...
Oh, slap bracelets!
Yeah, they're neat.
I freaking love slap bracelets!
Yeah, they're neat. I remember them.
Oh, I'd still take some slap bracelets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I remember we were kids on the bus and slap bracelets were in and everyone had like the lawn Jolly Ranchers.
Yeah.
You remember that?
I remember it.
And we were like playing with slap bracelets and like sucking on Jolly Ranchers.
That's the truth.
I got in trouble in school for slapping someone with a slap bracelet. What? They don't even hurt.
You got in trouble for slapping somebody with them?
Who'd you slap? Was he a jerk? Did he deserve it?
Probably.
Miss the 90s. Me too. That Bubbles ice cream sandwich looks amazing.
Yeah.
I love Bubbles. She's my favorite.
Powerpuff Girl?
Yes.
Bubbles.
Days gone by. According to the About section on the official Silly Bands website, and an article posted to the blog section of the same site, Silly Bands are officially gaining popularity again. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that social media has brought old trends back into style. But what if most of the people
One of my
talking about Silly
classmates for
Bands
fun,
aren't
he
actually
snitched.
reminiscing, but trying to restart the brand themselves? The earliest TikTok on the official Silly Bands business account, Silly Bands Online, was made back in November 2019.
Oh my god, that's so cute.
I don't really get it, but harmless content, right? Since this first TikTok, the Silly Bands Online account has posted over 1,000 videos.
Wow.
All about Silly Bands. And it's not just nostalgia bait that's being posted, but pretty much any kind of video to be made that can somehow incorporate the bracelets. Among obvious promotional videos and giveaways, there's also ASMR.
Where is the Yoshi Silly Band? Yeah.
That needs to be a thing.
Cooking recipes. Send this to your crush memes. Dog videos.
Oh my god.
Satisfying videos. The list goes on. There are some real standouts among their hundreds of videos.
Wow, that has to feel good. Putting your hands in all those and just fluffing them
Tactile
up.
shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've had my hands in I had my hand in a bag of rubber bands.
Yeah.
It feels kind of alright.
Right? Because the rubber bands are like a soft texture.
Yeah, they are.
I'm glad we can get along in here, just me and 50 other friends. I'm glad we can get along too. I don't want to freaking yell back and forth with people. Fuck that shit. We got better things to do in life. Like learning about the scandal in Silly Bands. What's the fucking scandal?
There's a Silly series which follows two of the self-proclaimed Silly Bands girls as they go to different public stores and try to trade Silly Bands for something free.
You want to trade Silly Bands for freezes? Okay, will you trade me a freeze for Silly Bands? You will? Perfect. These are the Kim Kardashian ones. Like, hold on to these. Alright, have a good one. Yeah, baby! Free freezes!
That's weird. What the hell?
What? He did that because she's hot. He's like, yeah, sure.
Probably. Yeah, you're probably right.
He did it because she's hot. You think he did it because he's hot? Or he did it because he literally wanted to have those stupid little rubber bands?
No.
He did it because she's hot.
Yeah. He's like, I get the butterflies from the girl, so I'll pay for a drink.
He wanted to meet her.
Yeah.
But hey, she hustled.
Yeah.
She hustled good, dude.
Sure, why not? If you're pretty, use it. Why not?
Yeah, this series is Silly Girls, but I think you mean it in a different way than I do. In most of the videos, as you might expect, the already
I don't know, Jules, maybe
that have to put up with this aren't really interested in dealing with the Silly Bands girls, especially when they notice that they're filming. Some of the employees just give in, seemingly to get these people out of their line.
Give me
or
some time.
Because, as this Silly Bands boy puts it, she was too scared to tell me no. In some of the other videos, and I hate that they did so many of these, it seems like they probably told the workers what they were doing in advance and staged the video for better content. The worst part of this Silly series is that the creators actually challenged other TikTok users to do it themselves, calling it...
I can't believe that they're bartering with frickin' rubber bands. How do they not get fired from their jobs?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Huh.
It's pretty weird.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem right to me, man.
Like they're their own currency? That just doesn't sound right to me. It's an elastic band.
I know.
It's pretty strange.
No. I call bullshit.
A challenge to harass minimum wage workers and beg for free stuff.
Okay.
Apparently, if you participated in the challenge, you could win cash prizes, Annie Energy, an energy drink partner with the company, or rare Silly Bands. Totally worth ruining some poor fast food worker's day. Fortunately, when searching under their Silly Series hashtag, the only videos of people doing the challenge were from the Silly Bands account
No
themselves,
way, Monkey
with
Toes.
just one video that was apparently done
Dude. The cashier was how is he getting away with that?
Wow. That's insane.
Wow, they're getting laid back.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
fan that's also clearly staged. Although I think the Silly series might be some of the cringiest videos on the account, there are definitely some runners-up. Take this video where a grown man narrates a Pikachu doll for some kind of Silly Bands content.
Pika, what's wrong? Pika, 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 Pika! You don't have any Silly Bands! Pika?
What the hell, dude? What? Yeah,
that woman's cursed.
That is cringy. She's a cursed woman.
She's cursed, man. She's a witch, I tell you. A witch! Hey, weird question. Anyone in here watch the Blues Big City Adventure movie? No. Hi, Carrie.
Gavin knows boob.
Oh, it isn't Gavin knows boob.
He's a boy. You're not going to see him right now, guys, because there's someone here, so.
He's gonna hide.
He's going to be a hidey boy.
Pikachu!
these young girls being told to say that their hands are ugly until they wear silly bands, which is just wrong for a lot of reasons.
That's so cringe.
And multiple videos showing how easily broken silly bands are, again, under the guise of being relatable. And again, this just makes me feel sad for the original Animal Rubber Bands creators who just wanted people to stop treating rubber bands as disposable. Instead, they ended up fueling corporate greed through a stolen idea that's easily breakable and designed to be a fad that ends up getting thrown in the trash. There's even a few videos about how relatable it is to want to wear so many silly bands that it cuts off the circulation to your hands, which, aside from not being relatable at all, is just blatantly glossing over the fact that there was a case where a 4-year-old was wearing so many silly bands.
My God.
Ow!
Not good.
Ow!
See, that's what you gotta be careful of with kids.
That they made his
That's
hands
painful
cut
looking
into his
as
skin
shit.
and caused him to bleed.
Ow!
I'm not saying that the Silly Bands team is directly to blame for this, but considering that this kid was probably not the only case of this happening, I just find it kind of icky to turn this into relatable content.
That poor girl.
What's arguably even worse than the cutting off your circulation jokes, though, is this video posted in October of 2020.
There's a new virus going around, and I think I already have it. I have like all the symptoms. It's called SBS, Silly Bands Syndrome. It literally says pandemic.
What is the point of all this shit?
I mean, I guess if I'm gonna die.
People get fixated on the most weirdest things.
Yeah, I'm really confused.
Wow.
Like, I'm trying to understand this.
That's a grown-ass woman.
I mean, if it's money, it's like, yeah, okay, you're making money at this, so. It's like the TikTok, it's like little spurts, and you make money. It's a very unique, that's unique shit. You know?
True. Oh. Hawaii's Kilauea volcano is spewing lava right now.
Is it really?
Yep.
Dude.
The volcanoes are going off.
Silly bands, dude.
Silly bands. It's rubber bands, Melly. It's rubber bands. And apparently people, like, are kind of psychotic over them.
Everybody wants cooking stuff. It's really tough, guys, with the kitchen here, seriously. The kitchen is not good enough to do it.
No.
It's just not.
I'm gonna look good while doing it.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Obviously, the video is just cringy in general, but I'm sure I don't need to get into why it's gross to compare silly band syndrome to a virus that even this girl herself acknowledged as deadly.
Yeah, she's, like, that's... How is she not canceled? If I did something like that, I would so get canceled.
I know that.
Instantly. Y'all would hate me.
And also, really, guys, like, it's kind of, you have to understand that this is, we have filmed the kitchen before, but I'm really not sure that we should be doing that.
No, I don't want to do that.
No. Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
We got to get a place.
And I'm also sure that plenty of
I'm
people
working
made
on
tons of jokes
things.
pretty similar to this, and if you really wanted to reach, you could even say that this is how some people coped with the stress
Mama's
of
an old
2020.
woman, though.
I just don't find it appropriate at all, though, for a brand to be posting this as a way to try to garner success and revive a product that already fell out of relevancy a decade
Bear
ago.
with us and it'll happen.
So, cringy TikToks aside, what else is Silly Bands doing as a brand to try and fuel their own revival? Well, for starters, getting influencers to become affiliates so they can create even more TikToks for them. Once making a purchase, only then will you be prompted to be able to register as an affiliate. You won't get free Silly Bands unless you already have at least 50k followers, if that's what you're after. But you can earn...
Oh, really? You have to have 50k followers in order to get freaking rubber bands?
I'm very confused.
This is freaking rubber bands shaped in things.
And they break anyway.
Have I just slipped into the Twilight Zone? Probably.
Yeah, I'm confused, man. This is pretty weird.
Ooh.
Huh?
I would like to watch some Twilight Zone, actually.
It's a great show.
Up to 14% through commission on each sale. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know anything about business deals and public relations, but isn't 14% kind of a weirdly specific number? Like, why 14? Also, 14% of the cost of a regular pack of Silly Bands is only 55 cents, so do with that information what you will. In addition to searching for affiliates, Silly Bands has already partnered with a group of influencers in yet another attempt to revive the brand. Sway House, a team of teenage boys that make quality TikTok content, quote, made a big investment in Silly Bands, making it their first stake in a company acquired as an investing group.
They're not 14.
With an official stake in the brand, which...
These guys are saying they're 14, but they're way older than 14.
I mean, obviously.
A millionaire preacher with a weight loss cult? What?
That's pretty weird. That's pretty weird. Some weird shit in the world, man. Really weird.
By non-entrepreneurial types like myself, basically means that they own a percentage of the company.
That one dude looks like James Charles.
Kinda.
Where's the watermelon?
They're hiding.
Yeah, they have to be hiding.
There's booms and stuff.
That's true.
It's like the perfect way to market towards a younger audience, especially fans of the Sway Boys. Oh, well, that's not good. For all my...
It's the repairman.
Obviously. It's G-Man.
Ew.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want anything to do with that individuals. I don't know who that person is.
Exactly.
Non-entrepreneurial types out there, I don't really know what this means for their partnership. What I do know, though, is that there hasn't been any talk about it since they invested, and as far as I can tell, Silly Bands have not taken off again, despite what Robert and his Silly Bands girls would have you believe.
Ah.
So maybe the Sway House deal didn't pan out how they expected it to, and maybe all of their TikTok isn't gaining them as many views as they thought it would either. There's still one surefire way to make money, promote the brand, and that everyone will love. Do like a charity partnership or something? No, stupid. Make a Silly Bands NFT. In January...
I think don't do Silly Bands because people are throwing them away and the animals don't need more fucking garbage.
Yeah, and they break anyway. What the hell's that?
I know.
It's another fad. And there's so much of that shit. And a lot of money spent on it.
Yeah.
It's just there for a while and then gone. But apparently it's still going. Whatever. NFTs.
In February of 2022, Robert Croak, infamous Silly Bands creator, announced the launch of Silly Bands NFTs, which feature a shape from the specified Silly Bands collection, as well as an accessory and a custom background. With the purchase of an NFT, you'll also get benefits like free Silly Bands, free shipping on Silly Bands purchases, and eventually metaverse wearables functionality. Just what I...
So they did the Trump gig thing. NFTs are garbage, man.
Stupid. Yeah. There's no value.
Yeah.
There's none. It's like the cryptos are very similar. I mean, but they got their own market for trendy people.
Yeah, the NFTs do suck. It's like,
Who cares?
Wow, I have this stupid crap.
I always wanted.
Who cares?
Their NFT website claims that every NFT was painstakingly thought out and designed by our in-house creative team with rarity and collectability in mind. Yeah, I can see.
It was painstakingly thought out to make a frickin' Lying dude.
Digital fad. That's what NFTs are.
Yeah, it's a digital fad.
Yeah.
I'd never pay money for that.
No, it's
See the painstaking creativity in this plankton from SpongeBob silhouette. As silly bands grow in worldwide popularity and the exclusivity of this small collection reaches the masses, it will surely drive up the desirability and prices. There they go again, self-proclaiming their supposed growing popularity. I think Robert watched too many manifesting tutorials while he was busy on TikTok. From their FAQ, it seems like the price ranges from what is currently $87 to $100 worth of cryptocurrency. I don't know anything about NFTs except that they make me feel like I need to go wash my hands, so let me know if that seems like a good price for plankton. Speaking of Robert being busy on TikTok, I feel like this is a good time to touch on his own personal TikTok account that's filled with classic entrepreneur posts, giving financial advice, tips on how to become wealthy that don't include selling a...
Obviously, people don't remember Beanie Babies. I remember Beanie Babies.
Oh, yeah, I do.
But see, Beanie Babies are sustainable. Like, they don't rip apart like these rubber bands to be thrown in the garbage and then kill the wildlife.
I mean, stuffed animals have always been collectible, so...
Yeah.
Rubber bands?
What about Furbies? Oh,
Absolutely.
yeah.
That was my time, yeah. When I was a kid. Furbies.
Furbies was the shit back in the day.
Tickle Me Elmo.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Elmo is creepy now.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, TY's still going, dude.
Yeah, they always will, like, always.
A viral phenomenon, and calling out Elon Musk directly for manipulating the market.
Oh.
Should we tell him that the ad doesn't work and Elon isn't listening?
No.
I'm a long way from Silly Band's TikTok. So, are Silly Bands making a comeback? If you ask Robert and the Silly Bands girls, of course they are, and you should buy ASAP. If you ask pretty much anyone else, no. I do scroll past the occasional non-sponsored, non-branded, nostalgic Silly Bands post, but I also see those for things like that green ketchup they used to make, and I don't think that means that people want it back or that it'll be in stores again soon. Robert Croak seems to be just another money-hungry entrepreneur type that thinks they can relive their best invention, dates younger women, and is grumpy with Elon Musk.
Oh, he likes the young girls, huh?
He's obsessed with Elon Musk.
He really believes with enough forced promotion and harassment of fast food employees that Silly Bands will make a comeback, despite the fact that he mostly just got lucky with the idea. But obviously, I'm just a simple consumer, so don't take my word for it. If NFT Silly Bands Plankton, I can't believe that's a coherent phrase, ends up taking off, then I guess I'll see you in the metaverse, or whatever.
Metaverse.
I mean... Yeah.
That's Skynet.
That's dumb.
That's Skynet. People paid a fortune for them thinking they'd be worth something. Yeah, that's true.
It's dumb.
It is.
Pretty dumb.
Now, I wanted to play this one, The History of the Nurses in Silent Hill.
Oh. I don't think
if you've seen even a glimpse of anything in the Silent Hill universe, I'm sure you're aware of the creepy nurses in this series.
Mm-hmm.
But why are they the most consistent monster in Silent Hill, with only subtle changes between each game, like new weapons, nurses' caps, and amazing tits? It's often unclear why these monsters are staying in the series. They are seen in Silent Hill 1, 2, 3, Origins, Homecoming.
They do. They all the nurse girls always have really good titas.
Perfect, yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, kind of creepy though.
Yeah. Totally creepy.
Pretty creepy.
Sexy creepy.
Yeah. That was a thing.
Yep, sexy creepy.
Yeah.
The arcade book of memories moves and comics. Surely there's a reason why they appear so much. This is the history of Silent Hill nurses. Our story begins with Dahlia Gillespie, who is the member of a secret cult in Silent Hill known as the Order. I have mentioned the Order a few times on this channel. They are a sadistic group who look to enforce a religion to those in Silent Hill and punish those who don't follow it. One aim of this cult is to birth a new god, who is said to bring a new paradise and rid the world of all pain, suffering, and those who don't believe in the religion. But how do the Order birth this new god? Well, Dahlia has a daughter called Alyssa. Alyssa has been forced to read the Order's scriptures and follow their religion since birth. As you can imagine, her childhood was incredibly dark and violent, given the powers and sadistic nature of the Order, along with being known in the town as the
Something going on? Or did he...
He went out the side door, I think.
Oh, okay.
daughter of a witch.
Okay.
But also because she was chosen
I
as the
told
one
you
to
nurses
birth
are
this
hot.
new god.
Yeah.
Dahlia chose her daughter as the sacrifice to birth this god, and she even went as far as to try ancient rituals in her own home to force this birth. However, Alyssa channeled her abilities within the Order's religion to split her soul in half, so the ritual was never properly completed. This means Alyssa had to experience the extreme torture's ritual, but the rebirth was incomplete and lost in another entity.
Huh.
To the public eye,
Crazy.
Alyssa was thought to have died in a house fire and was declared a saint by the Order as the Mother of God. However, in reality,
Mother of God.
It's a twisted freaking version.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Is this a real story? Oh no, this is Silent Hill. This is a game, Brian.
Alyssa was transported to Alchemilla Hospital and was kept in the basement by Dahlia and the director of the hospital, Dr. Michael Kaufman.
What?
Okay.
Dr. Kaufman had an alliance with Dahlia centered around drugs, and so Dahlia trusted him to keep her daughter a secret. Dahlia, Dr. Kaufman, and only a few members of the Order knew that Alyssa was still alive after the ritual. Confined to the hospital's basement, Alyssa is given hallucinogenic drugs, further intensifying her torment. But there seems to be no end to her suffering. Her ability to not die is given by the incomplete rituals which have protected her as the Mother of God, despite not even birthing the god. There was just one other person who knew Alyssa was still alive, and this was a young nurse named Lisa Garland.
Okay.
Lisa had to watch over Alyssa in the hospital and try to reduce her suffering.
She's got a nice
In return, she was given drugs.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense now.
There we go.
It's all based on her body, that specific nurse.
Yeah.
That makes
By
sense.
Dr. Kaufman. Every day, Lisa would have to remove bandages, clean up burns and infections, stop her pains and supply Alyssa with drugs. Alyssa would see Lisa every single day, and so Lisa became a main character in her life, or rather, her nightmare. The world of Silent Hill is influenced by Alyssa's nightmare, as her failed ritual had cursed Silent Hill and created all manifestations within. These are manifestations of Alyssa's history of sacrifice, her fears, school bullies, and of course, the nurses at the hospital who seem to be working with the Order.
Huh.
This meant that Silent Hill became populated with cursed nurses that would roam the hospital. They are all manifestations of Alyssa's nightmare.
Huh.
In the Origins timeline, this is after we meet Travis Grady, who is a truck driver that has expressed difficulty in finding the right women, due to his job which is time-consuming and lonely. Travis also has a traumatic childhood and doesn't seem to be the most sociable person. This mix of social anxiety and unfamiliarity with talking to women helps to manifest the perfect nightmare for Travis as he heads through Silent Hill. During his time searching Silent Hill Hospital, Travis finds nurses that are revealing, which seem to play into his anxiety around women. These nurses also tend to jitter and jolt, possibly symbolising how Travis fumbles the bag with women and is unsociable. The representation of nurses is thanks to Alyssa's nightmare, but this specific appearance is due to Travis's own personal fears. Some years later, Harry Mason visits Silent Hill after crashing his car and losing his daughter Cheryl.
Yeah. Huh. So, why is Alyssa... How is Alyssa manifesting all this shit exactly?
She's the one, she did a ritual or something, right? Or is that that other
Yeah,
one?
she did it. Alyssa was in the ritual, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's how she's manifesting her dreams into reality.
Yeah.
It had something to do with that ritual.
They want us to do some paranormal video.
That'd be cool, yeah. Like
KK.
Omar.
Finds himself a part of Alyssa's nightmare, as Cheryl seems to be valuable to the Order, but we'll discuss more of that later. In search for his daughter, he enters Alchemilla Hospital, which is where he finds otherworldly creatures like the nurses Alyssa had manifested.
1 minute, guys.
I'm coming. What's up, sir? Sorry.
Sorry. I apologize, my folks, for being a dumbass.
You're fine.
Please forgive me for my dumbassery.
You're cute, girls.
I'm still muted? No, I'm not. It's done. It's over with. It has been fixed. It feels warmer in here.
Yeah, you feel it?
Yes.
Be able to put my fucking shorts on again.
Right?
Yeah, that's nice.
Ah, warmth. Now I want to take a sleep.
This is the first time we see nurses
I
in
didn't
Silent
sleep
Hill.
good last night.
This isn't the...
I was cold. I know. I was cold and I was like, I'm glad it got fixed so fast though. Thank God.
Yeah. You are cold, girls.
I can't handle that shit.
Oh, that's a neighbor, okay.
Only time they appear. In the 1980s, James Sunderland receives a letter from his dead wife Mary. She calls for him to return to their special place, despite dying from a chronic illness 3 years prior. In his desperation and depressive state, he looks for Mary in Silent Hill. Silent Hill was once a popular tourist destination which James and Mary would visit. Even during Mary's illness, they would come to this town. Throughout James's journey in Silent Hill, he is reminded of his past visits to the foggy town, his life without Mary, and the guilt and depression that he felt when she was ill.
This is the second game.
James sees
Silent Hill. Oh, that's second game? Okay.
Yeah, this is Silent Hill 2.
I think the first game is the freakiest. There's some scary shit in the other ones.
The Room.
The Room is horrifying, actually.
The Room.
Yeah, that one's really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be the worst.
I think The Room's the worst.
You're probably right. You're probably right. That is a horrifying one.
The mirror for his own trauma, rather than someone else's. He finds Pyramid Head, for example,
he
who
kills
was a
his
manifestation
wife.
of James' guilt and inner torment,
spoilers.
represented as an executioner James once saw in a painting. I have another video on the history of Pyramid Head, should you want to watch that next.
Oh my God, that's
basically what the manifestations were of this chick. Is that was his wife, and he killed her.
That's nuts.
Yeah,
story.
Yeah, there's like 3 different endings to 2.
Wow, you know some shit.
Yeah, I do.
James's manifestation is, of course, nurses. During James's visits to the hospital to see Mary, he was given bad news by doctors and nurses. And so these are characters that haunt him, as they are the personification of bad news. For James, these nurses are much more revealing than Alyssa's nightmare, as they represent something completely different.
Ooh, that's scary.
During Mary's illness, James had sexual deprivation and anxiety that drove him to guilt. This emotion is manifested in the nurses' appearance, as they are much more revealing. You may be wondering why these nurses have a covered, suffocated bubblehead. Well, in James's relived experience of trauma during his visit through Silent Hill, he uncovers some suppressed memories. Not only does he remind himself that Mary is dead, but he finds an old tape which plays some of the deeper memories he hasn't really acknowledged or accepted. In this old tape, James acknowledged that during Mary's illness, he suffocated her with a pillow, killing her and ending her suffering.
Wow.
But of course, making his guilt even worse. This traumatic decision is represented in the nurses' appearance, as their faces are also covered by fabric with their breathing obstructed. Silent Hill and the manifestations within change from an individual's mind to Alyssa's, depending on who visits the town and when they do. For example, in 2003...
Enjoy your crab legs. Oh, the price has doubled for king crab legs? Oh, jeez.
For real?
They were already expensive.
Doubled?
Heather Mason visits Silent Hill to stop the order and uncover secrets of her own past. After her father, Harry Mason, is murdered by one of the cult's members. You may remember earlier I said that Alyssa split her soul into 2, and the other half went into another entity. This entity is Heather. Heather is Harry's daughter, the same daughter he was searching for in Silent Hill, previously known as Cheryl. Heather is the reincarnation of both Cheryl and Alyssa, and so she has foggy memories of both individuals.
That's ridiculous, Ted. Jason.
What?
Ted spent $20 on a dozen eggs and 8 apples.
What the hell, dude? That's crazy shit. Wow.
It's all fabricated, too, because they can raise the prices. That's why they do.
Of course.
Assholes.
Wrong.
These memories of her previous life haunt her as she visits Silent Hill, although sometimes a lot of the manifestations aren't clear. They might be nightmares she can't fully recall. As the reincarnation of Alyssa, nurses reappear during her visit through Silent Hill, specifically when she visits the hospital.
Crab legs are $85 a pound?
What? Holy shit. What? In like California?
Holy shit. No, thank you.
That's gotta be like California prices or something.
No fucking thank you.
Jesus. That's madness.
Yeah, yep, that's why I didn't get them. Yeah, I would be like, fuck that shit.
No, that's like...
I'll get some imitation crab.
Oh.
Not California, Washington.
Okay. That makes sense.
But they're known for their crab. Ridiculous.
Inflation City.
King crab is my favorite. I got a pound the other day for $65. Jesus.
What?
No, I'm not paying that much.
It is delicious shit. But
I know.
God, like...
I ain't doing that.
No.
Mm-mm.
That's insane.
These nurses look rather normal, although they do cough up blood or feed on bloody carcasses. This could represent the physical changes Heather has been through and is going through. But it may also be foreshadowing the birth of the new god, the same god promised by the incomplete rituals. Even after this god is out of the picture, this isn't the last time we see nurses in Silent Hill. In October 2007, Alex Shepard returns to Shepherd's Glen, a town that neighbours Silent Hill. He was sent to a mental hospital after a fatal accident on Toluca Lake involving his brother. Alex would lose his mind after this accident,
I don't know this.
and so he is institutionalized to suppress the memories of that horrific night. He was brainwashed at the mental hospital to believe he was in the war, that he lived another life that was never even in the hospital. To the extent where his dad lends him his past military dog tags and jacket to reinforce these fake memories. Alex's experience with the curse of Silent Hill, and subsequently the same curse over Shepherd's Glen, is random fragments of thought and memory that are a mix of reality and his brainwashed past. He can often hear gunfire in war, although he was never even in the military.
Wow.
He relived the nightmare of his brother's death, although he can't even remember it.
Are you a
along with
girl?
the creatures and beings within the town.
Are you my girl?
He sees nurses, for example, which are a mixed creation of his false military past and his time.
You're my girl. Yeah.
Little baby? Huh? You want to be warm? You want to be warm, Toby? Huh?
Baby girl. She's such a lion.
Yeah.
I don't have many sins, so I wouldn't know.
I'm in the mental hospital.
I don't
It
know.
makes sense that Alex saw nurses a lot during his time at the hospital, but how did they become a part of his false military narrative?
I try to be good.
Well, in his diary it says that the one thing that made the living conditions of the military bearable was the nurses. They have these pristine white uniforms cut right above the knee, their breasts spilling out from their shirts. Look, I don't want to sound like a dirtbag or anything. I'm just saying I appreciate the military providing us with the one thing to brighten our days. Maybe it's sort of like payback for getting us stuck in this place to begin with. I don't know. All I can say is, thank you. The nurses in Alex's brainwashed military experience were over-sexualized, possibly reinforced by the fact that he couldn't have sex in reality, and so he manifests nurses from his real experience with over-sexualized features and purpose from his fake memories. This representation of nurses is likely the one most people recognise, as we see this version of nurses in a lot of Western media, including films, some comics and other Silent Hill titles. The appearance of nurses in the Silent Hill universe doesn't stop there. Hospital trauma, mental health, the manifestation of fear and guilt, These are recurring characteristics of those who visit Silent Hill, along with being a primary nightmare for Alyssa. So it's no wonder that nurses are a prominent figure in this foggy town. They are an integral part to most of the characters' experience in Silent Hill.
I love watermelon.
I hope you enjoyed this
I
video.
love watermelon
if you
too.
did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more.
That was
Silent
pretty
Hill
interesting
content.
stuff. Jesus, that's why you see her ass in the bottom.
I know, right?
But that, why is it, I'm not clear. Why is it that he's necessarily has sexualized nurses because he was in the military, the fake memories, because army men want to screw nurses or something?
I don't know.
I didn't follow that.
Oh my gosh. Art of Insanity. The weird art of the mentally disturbed.
That's pretty interesting. Okay. Oh.
Oh. Then never mind.
We should probably not play that. This world.
Then never mind.
Censorship of speech, man.
I won't play it then, because it triggers people.
Yeah.
Don't want to trigger people.
No, of course not.
No.
Especially not on that topic.
I wouldn't know. I'm just looking for shit.
The swamp torture killer?
The story of Japan's most hated woman.
What?
Could you live beside someone like this?
What the hell?
After spending years being the most obnoxious neighbor she possibly could, through multiple lawsuits and arrests, this lady, commonly known as Mrs. Noisy, became a household name in Japan. Countless memes.
She just screams at everybody. She seems angry? Yeah. Holy shit.
Oh my god, man. Someone has some problems that need a therapist that could fix her, maybe.
She's very angry.
Ah! She just screaming.
I mean, I got anger issues, but this is
And
like,
even a
wow.
movie were made about her. But is there another side to this story? What could possibly cause someone to act this way? The truth was hidden down an incredibly deep rabbit hole. One small asterisk before we begin. This topic is extremely controversial on the Japanese internet. It's rife with misinformation, and it can be very difficult to determine what's true and what's not. To start, I'll cover the mainstream narrative of events. Then I'll present the alternative theories and counter-narratives. This is Kawahara Miyoko. She rose to infamy in
Oh my god! That face is it. That's the internet.
Ah, yeah, that's the internet.
That right there is the internet.
Katahara Miyoko.
That's the internet.
Yeah, that's the internet. Pretty much. Hi, Gabby. Hi, handsome boy.
Yeah, he is a good boy.
The place is empty now. He's got to check everything out, make sure everything's in place.
Of course, yeah, he's got a pokey face.
He does. He's like, is everything in place?
Yeah.
Did my food get taken away?
No,
is my food still there?
He has his food.
Okay, they didn't take my food. It's good.
5. After CCTV footage of her terrorizing her neighbors was shown as headline news all over the country. Oba-san, or in
Oh my
English,
god,
Mrs.
that
Noisy,
poor
would
woman.
victimize her neighbors in Heguricho, which is a suburb of Nara, by doing the following. Beat her futon from her balcony every day while screaming insults at her neighborhood. Sometimes from 6 a.m. Park her car in front of the victim's house and honk the horn. Kick the victim's entryway gate. Constantly ring their doorbell.
Holy shit.
And worst of all, place multiple alarm clocks and a radio cassette player in an open window at the closest possible point to the victim's house, just meters away,
Deliberate
and blast
menace.
R&B and hip-hop music 24 hours of the day, every day, for years.
This is insane. She's a menace.
Please stop the music. It's disturbing the neighborhood.
This is unbelievable.
This woman's great.
I like her.
She's Japan's biggest troll.
She's rattling the cage.
She's like, fuck society.
Yeah, this is bullshit.
She plays hip-hop music all day long.
Because she can, because she's done with everybody.
I wonder what her story is.
She definitely has mental health issues. She's probably Tourette's, like with a combination of something else. I don't know. Tourette's going on.
She started blasting music in 1996 and never stopped. It was on 24 hours of the day. She was taken to civil court over it in 1999 and lost, paying a 600,000 yen fine, USD. This didn't stop her, though. In 2000, the victimized family, who are not named publicly, but I'll refer to as the Sato family, installed a security camera which was able to capture footage of Mrs. Kawahara kicking and causing damage to their house's gate. This was enough evidence for a serious arrest. Kawahara was imprisoned for 46 days and fined 100,000 yen. This was the only time that the music stopped. After her release, she came back for revenge, continuing to play music and being a nuisance for 5 more years.
She don't give up.
She was finally arrested again in April of 2005. At her trial, the court recognized a specific period of 18 months where they had records of the noise she was making. Evidence showed sound readings taken around 5 a.m. from 1 meter away from her window, recorded as loud as 79 decibels, approximately equal to an alarm clock.
Yes, we lived in Japan in Denver, Colorado Prefecture. But see, it was unique though because we lived in it. We had government protection, okay? Because we got the feds got involved with the case with the trolls, and they flew us out to Japan, and we were in this biodome. So because people were saying, how could it be that time? Because it's like 10 p.m. in Japan, and we can see the sun's up. Rev, you're not in Japan. I said, see, but no, it's got an artificial fucking climate system in a dome. Don't you get it? Okay, so we were in Denver Prefecture of Japan. It was wonderful. Now moving on.
2 a.m., 3 a.m.
In court, Mrs. Kawahara represented herself, appearing in a big pink sweater with a picture of a dog on it and pink socks. When a video of herself whacking her foot onto her classic rhythm was played in the courtroom.
Look at her when she speaks. She's like this. Oh, God. No, this is really not funny to laugh at this because she is mentally ill. She doesn't just yell at like somebody yell, you son of a bitch. She's like, you son of a bitch, you son of a bitch, you son of a bitch. That's clear mental illness, I think.
She started singing along to the beat because of singing.
She's having fun at times.
Wow. She's like Japan's Von Helton.
I don't know if Von's that loud, man.
Well, you've seen him yell for hours and hours.
Oh,
and
I
hours.
see what you mean. Yeah.
And won't shut the fuck up.
I don't think he would do this running around the neighborhood though.
That's 16-hour rage fest, dude.
That's endurance.
I don't know how he did it.
No.
He was screaming the whole time.
Just about.
Psycho.
Significant suffering experienced by the Sato family as a result of Mrs. Kawahara's actions, including insomnia, headaches, and vertigo. She was eventually sentenced to 1 year and 8 months in prison and forced to pay 2 million yen in damages. After the footage recorded by the Sato family's CCTV cameras was released to the media, it became mainstream headline news and went viral online too. Furthermore, when reporters would go to Heguricho to see what was going on, Kawahara would scream and berate them. Kawahara Miyoko became a household name, and not in a good way. Her chant of Hikoshi, Hikoshi, Sassato Hikoshi became a meme. Here are some references to her in popular media.
Hitoshi.
Oh my God, she's made it into anime.
Countless remixes
Yeah.
of her too.
Made it into anime. Oh my God. What the fuck? Oh my God.
Oh my god.
Then they put it to like fucking trance music.
This woman's the shit.
Oh my god. I'm gonna have an aneurysm.
I love this woman.
Absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, I've heard about Vaughn's dog. I really don't want to talk about that. He's a piece of shit. Throwing the dog in the garbage can and taking a picture. Ah, that's classy.
Oh.
I'm done.
People still call her DJ Miyoko and compliment her taste in R&B.
DJ Miyoko.
All over the internet to this day. Also, in 2019, a movie
A
came
Pokemon card?
back then. It follows a dispute
Or
between
is that a
neighbors
Yu-Gi-Oh
over
card?
noise from whacking a futon that ends up involving the media, apparently. I haven't been able to find it online, but if you've seen it, please tell us about it in the comments. So, what could have caused such bad blood between neighbors? Sources disagree as to the true origin, but it could be a combination of any of the following. First is that the Sato family was upset about a lamp they placed in their garden.
She's just walking around. I'd never seen anything like this.
They were arguing over a lamp. A lamp.
Come on.
Another source says that the feud started when Mrs. Kawahara started hanging her futons or carpets on her balcony and whacking them to clean them at 6 a.m. This news report claims that it started when the Sato family's children hit Mrs. Kawahara's vehicle with a ball while playing catch. Also, Mrs. Kawahara has a tendency to sue her neighbors. We'll get into it later, but in her trial where she was sentenced to prison, she was asked multiple times whether or not she will finally stop suing her neighbors. Mrs. Kawahara claims that she was also partially victimized, however. While under oath, she stated that people from her town would bully her, including cutting her barbed wire fences, breaking her flower pots, and having people glue her shutters keyhole shut. Additionally, she claims she has had rocks thrown at her, had people deface her house's nameplate, and had her door broken by a brick in 2004. She says this led her to fight alone versus the rest of the neighborhood. Even in some testimony provided by Mrs. Sato,
you know,
she admits that at one point a large group of people
just got
were
sick of
outside
everyone's
Kawahara's
shit.
house, heckling her.
Pretty much.
As all of this was playing out in the public eye, alternative theories started popping up on image boards in Japan. Websites like 2channel have managed to popularize the theory that it is actually in fact Mrs. Kawahara, their beloved DJ Miyoko, who was the victim, and that the supposed victimized Sato family were actually the harassers. How could that be? Well, the theory goes that after moving into the neighborhood, Mrs. Kawahara was quickly invited by her neighbors to join a certain religious organization. After rejecting them, she started to face constant harassment. The organization, along with all of her neighbors and the mass media, spun a web of lies to destroy her character. They started attacking her and her family, framing her for things like graffiti and destruction of property, spying on her, bringing mobs of people to her house to protest her, and much more. The theory also states that Mrs. Kawahara's entire family was afflicted with a horrible disease and needed constant care. Remember that last one. It'll come up again later. As I said, this theory is incredibly prevalent online. However, I found no evidence that there is, or ever was, a branch of that religion in Haguricho, or that they have any significant following in the area. Furthermore, at the top of the Nico-Nicopedia for this theory, it gives a big warning in red text before you even start reading the article. The only sources for this theory are 2channel and sites that source content from it. It's just a hypothetical theory. Sometimes, sources other than 2channel are referenced, like the magazine Shukan Shincho. Here, they are referring to this specific article from their June 2005 edition. In fact, verifiable sources on this subject are extremely scarce nowadays. Almost all of the citations on the Wikipedia page refer to paper publications from around 2005 that are not available online, but I wanted to find out what actually happened. I bought the relevant sources online, waited for them to arrive, and managed to procure the following information. By the way, all the documents refer to Mrs. Kawahara as Miyoko, her first name, so I'll be calling her that too. In 2005, Miyoko's sister was interviewed when her grandchildren were being bullied because of Miyoko's reputation. She said, "The Miyoko I've seen on TV, I've never seen her like that before, and that Miyoko is honestly a nice person." Apparently, in the early stages of Miyoko and Mrs. Sato's relationship, they would spend quality time together, going to get tea or pumping nice water from the springs together. Early on, Miyoko was at war with a different family in the neighborhood who threw rocks at her car. Apparently, it led to fistfights in the streets. Miyoko sued that family, won in court, and they ended up moving away.
They're bullying each other. It's tit for tat.
Conflict started with the Sato family. So, how did the conflict actually begin? Miyoko briefly mentioned to her sister, Mrs. Sato, complaining about the noise she was making when washing dishes, but the main problem was the garden light, apparently. It quickly escalated after that. Mrs. Sato says, "It started with prank calls. On some days, over 75 times. Miyoko would call me and not say anything. Just a little note, silent phone calls are considered threatening in Japan."
What the fuck? What?
World weird, man. Very strange.
God.
Constant graffiti on the walls, honking her car horn for over 30 minutes, throwing firecrackers at their house, and having all kinds of disgusting insults yelled at them. Sato says, "I'll never forget, September 7th, 1996. This is the day that the 24/7, 365 days a year music started." She kept memos. Quote, "I have 22 diaries of this. I installed 3 security cameras and have over 100 tapes. I even installed double pane windows to help block the sound."
Why don't they fucking move?
Yeah.
I would move.
You'd have to.
I'd be like, I can't stand this lady, Jason. I'm going to fucking kill her.
Yeah, it's over. We gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out.
We need to get the fuck out.
Yeah. That's it.
I don't like noise, so that would really get on my nerves.
And as a result, I've probably spent near 10 million yen on countermeasures, approximately $90,000 US. In August 2004, through a civil suit, they received an injunction to stop Miyoko's behavior. They managed to get 4 provisions that Miyoko was supposed to abide by. Do not play music through a speaker facing their house between 10 p.m. and 8 a.m. Do not say things that defame their character. Do not recklessly honk your horn. Do not ring their doorbell if you have no business with them. Not only did Miyoko completely break these provisions, she bought 3 security cameras of her own and surrounded her house with barbed wire to fortify it, she said. When the police came for her, they needed 4 or 5 people to breach her house. She went crazy, causing one of them to need 3 stitches in their arm. But
holy shit. You can see that rage that she could get physical. There's...
Holy shit, that woman is a fighter.
Serious rage.
Ah, oh, man, you gotta love a woman like that, man. She's feisty.
She's very feisty, yeah. She ain't taking nothing, man.
Nah, she's just done. She's like, fuck this world. I'm done. I'm gonna fight it.
You wanna mess with me? Here's my hip-hop. Fuck you! Fuck you! Assholes!
why did Miyoko care so much about the light in the first place? According to Mrs. Sato, one of their first fights was when Miyoko came to her house and said, "You know my husband has bad legs. Your light makes my husband dizzy. What will you do if it makes him fall? I'll sue you." This isn't something Miyoko just made up either. Here's another quote from Mrs. Sato. "Seeing her husband go up their wooden steps on all 4s, it broke my heart. I visited her daughter in the hospital. But the time we lost as well will never come back. That's what hurts." So Miyoko has children?
She's got that.
Hospital? Why is her husband crawling up?
She's got that diva energy, you know. She's got everything has to work out for her need, man.
Yeah.
Fuck you, asshole!
Yeah. You want to mess with my property? Fuck you, asshole! There's my hip hop. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Up the stairs.
Great, man.
Well, there's something very
and then she goes out in her car and honks the horn for 30 minutes straight.
1947. After graduating high school, she soon after moved into a house in Osaka.
We'd be looking out of the window and just cracking our ass up.
I would be shitting my pants laughing. I would literally be shitting myself laughing. It's like, this is why we came to Japan. That's it.
Diva versus diva. Woo! She's a firecracker. I know, man. I love her. She's great.
Hilarious.
At age 21, she got married to a man who
She's a true American.
Just a note, lots of sources say it was an arranged marriage, but this article specified it was not arranged.
Oh.
She was, however, pregnant when they got married. They had 3 kids together, 2 daughters and then a son. They bought a house together in East Osaka, and things were looking good. Until one day, when her eldest daughter, in her early teenage years, started having seizures and became bedridden. She was diagnosed with a disease called SCA, a degenerate inherited condition which affects approximately 30,000 people in Japan. Here's what Miyoko's relatives had to say about it. The disease starts by inhibiting your ability to walk.
Oh.
Then it progresses, affecting your ability to use your arms and legs. It takes your ability to talk. Eventually, you stop being able to eat and even breathe as you get weaker every day.
Fuck is that?
Show me a mother that can
Sounds
remain
like a
calm
mess.
while her beloved child gets weaker and weaker, closer to the grave with each passing day. It must have been tough, but Miyoko took care of her. That wasn't the end of the bad news, though. The disease was genetic. Her husband had it, and he passed it down to their children.
Oh,
Worse,
no.
him, the other daughter, and their son started to all succumb to it as well. From an interview with Miyoko's husband's mother.
Well, then no wonder she has a fuck it all attitude.
Yeah.
She lost everyone she loved.
That's it. That's what did it. Now we know.
Yeah.
Now we know.
Yeah.
She lost everything.
She lost everything, and she's like, nah, I take care of me. Fuck you all.
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah.
You want to try
Sheets coffee?
Sheets coffee. I don't think it'll come out very good when it gets to Germany. That'll be some old ass coffee.
No, they do sell it.
Oh.
They have.
Oh, then we could
Unbrewed.
probably give that to her.
If they still have it, I'll have to see.
Yeah.
I'll have to see.
I don't know what the disease is, man.
My husband would apologize to Miyoko every time he saw her. He passed it to his son through his ex-wife, but Miyoko never complained. She took excellent care of her entire family through their difficult times. Eventually, both daughters died 3 years apart. Her husband and son lived on, but required permanent care. In her first trial, she was represented by a lawyer, but after that, she
She's
represented
done.
herself in court each time. Even though
Caretaker burnout. It fucking happens. It fucking happens.
Yeah, her fuse was just, fuck you, everybody. I'm done. She lost too much.
Yeah, she needs people to treat her well.
It broke her fucking mind.
Yeah, broke her heart, broke her mind.
And then people were messing with her on top of it on her street.
I know, instead of treating her like a woman who lost her whole family.
Yeah. Wow.
she was busy with the care of her family, she went to the courthouse alone and learned how to prepare all the documents and evidence forms. She filled out 3 cardboard boxes worth of documents while laying with her daughters on their deathbed.
Wow.
Miyoko's sister says that Miyoko insists she was set up from the start. Regarding the destruction of the gate, Miyoko wrote an affidavit for the court. Would a strong gate made of iron really be broken by such a small impact? Please, try kicking or shaking my gate. I promise I won't sue you. Miyoko was wearing sandals at the time, and her legs did not sustain any injuries from the kick. She claims the Sato family broke their own door.
God bless
Regarding
you,
the case
Brian.
of the graffiti on the wall, Miyoko's affidavit insists she...
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it does change you. God bless you, sweetheart.
Yeah, see some shit.
was framed there, too. Miyoko saw Mrs.
It
Sato
does.
bent over doing something strange to the wall from her second-floor window. Sato was moving quickly, so she couldn't exactly see what. Miyoko went down to check, and Sato immediately started yelling, "Look what you've done," trying to frame her. Miyoko saw the red lines on the wall and was shocked. According to less credible websites, when this graffiti-related framing was brought up in court and Mrs. Sato was made to explain what happened...
Exactly. Because what you get out of caretaking is way worth anything
Beautiful
else.
thing.
It really is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it makes your soul go wow. Like that's Jesus is close to that.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're a good person, like I really, because I have seen a couple bad nurses too.
Mm-hmm.
One of which was male. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be sexist against males in this sense, but I don't know about males being nurses much. But the compassionate, you need to be compassionate if you're a nurse.
They use the males for the lifting mostly.
Yeah, well that's fine. But
Hi, Gabby.
I'm just saying.
Hi, Mr. Baby Boys.
I haven't seen many bad nurses, and one was male.
Hi, baby. How are you, handsome bear?
He's a good boy.
How are you, handsome? Oh, he's going on the couch.
You coming over here, Gav? You got warm toe beans. Gav,
He's a good boy.
what you doing?
You're perched up there. Okay, you got it. You got it, boy.
You want to come here?
It's rewarding, but it really sucks the life out of you. It does. But I'd do it again. I'd break my body again for it. Always.
Was too tired, refused to answer, fainted, and left the courtroom.
It's a Jesus job.
Miyoko is honestly a nice person, her sister writes, but it's in her nature to respond to a challenge. She couldn't stand being framed like this. Even Miyoko herself is aware how absurd her feud with her neighbors is. I am a wolf, she wrote. I fight my fight alone. I haven't consulted anyone about this. It's my responsibility. I don't want to involve anyone else in this stupid quarrel. When reporters talk about this case, they often ask, what could have caused Miyoko to act like this? To them, Miyoko replied, it's not some sort of selfish, purposeless noise. It's my cries, my screams. Mrs. Sato was quoted right after she saw Miyoko come out of jail into the courtroom. When I saw Mrs. Kawahara in court, she looked so thin. I felt bad for her, but honestly, it's for the best. It's so quiet without her. I can listen to Teresa Teng or Masashi Sada's From the North Country, whatever songs.
Yeah, I've worked in a couple nursing homes before. I've also worked in a lot of, like, residents. Mostly residents I've worked at as a caretaker. But I have worked in nursing homes.
You worked in, like, group homes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Group home.
I want now. Honestly, I don't want her to come back. I just want to keep on living in quiet like this. Kawahara Miyoko was released from prison in 2007 after 3 months plus 17 months time served. Nobody has heard from her since, but the city of Heguricho's reputation was severely damaged by the events. They had to implement a new law trying to restore order in their city, which among other things...
Yeah.
You did everything.
I did everything.
You did it all.
Change cats and everything.